G'day guys, so we're back for another episode. So today I'm going to get into gluing all those windows in. I've got a lot of threads to clean up, got a lot of surfaces to prep, maybe do a little bit of sanding, and then sticker flex all the windows in. I'm not going to put a heap of sticker flex on because these windows do have to come off when we go to splash the boat. They're sort of just there to make sure that nothing like destroys everything I'm going to build in here from now on. So let's head inside the boat and start getting the work done. Alright, so one of my little jobs that I had to do, I did it off camera, didn't want to bore everybody, is I had to go around and clean up all the threads. That was, 220 threads that I had to clean up. Because a few of them had a little bit of paint on them. One or two of them I may have dinged when I tried to weld them, and maybe I welded it a little bit off square, so I tapped it with a hammer. So I've dinged a few of the threads and got paint stuck in a lot of the threads. So the way I got around cleaning them up nicely is I used what we call a thread file. So as you can see, it's got all these little grooves on the thread file. Each one of these grooves you match up with the thread pitch. So obviously like per inch you've got X amount of threads, and you'll match that up with these, whether it's metric or imperial. This one's a metric one because I'm in Australia, we use the metric system. So you can sort of see where that's the thread file I need. So if I hold that up, you might be able to see that this particular thread file goes in between every one of the threads, so it gets down and below the thread pitches. Not sure if it's going to come up on the camera. So if you've got like a ding on a bolt or a stud or anything like that, and you had a thread file, these only cost $9 or so. You can have them in your toolbox. You can file the threads back into your nut, bolt, whatever. So if you've got like a diesel engine and you've had trouble getting in and out the exhaust manifolds, and you've got the studs in the side, you can clean the ends of the threads up with the thread file and repair any of those damaged threads if they've been bent over or blunted, and sometimes you just can't get a nut started because you've damaged the end of the thread. Have a little thread file, doesn't take up a lot of room, and you can repair your threads on the fly. Great little tool. Don't really see them around very often, but yeah, quite handy. So I've gone around and cleaned up all the threads on like 220 threads on the boat. So I'll show you a little example of how we've had a few bits of paint in the threads. So you can see here, just on the end, I've got a little bit of paint on there. So I get my 1.5mm thread pitch and I put that in there. So it's gotten in there and gotten all the paint out basically. You still see a bit of white, but that whole paint was level, and you can see I can get my fingers in there now. I can probably get a nut on there now. Yeah. So there's no way I would have got a nut on there before. So I've got to go through these big windows to clean them all up. But yeah, that's how I've been getting all the paint out of all the grooves really. Just using one of these, because on a lot of these threads, I wasn't going to be able to get a die nut on there, because put a die nut on there, I've got a bar here, and if I had a T-bar, that T-bar is not going to go. So a die nut wasn't going to work on these windows. It will work on these ones, but it was never going to work on all these. So thread file was my next best friend. So that's how I cleaned up all my threads anyway. So yeah, hopefully if you feel like this can come in handy, just go down to local hardware. I'm sure they've got one, or just buy them off online. That's what everyone does these days. So yeah, hopefully that helps. So I'm going to glue some of the windows in now. Got them all prepped, ready to go on. Going to use this marine flex, Shelley's, it's like sticker flex, but it's supposed to be good for joints and gaps and underwater parts, but these are just temporary. These will come off once the boat's ready to go in the water. Just need to seal it up so we can stop getting the water in and get the birds out of here. So these will look the part and will serve its purpose for a little while. So let's get this one glued in.
For a minute in the quiet, it feels like it was before. I get lost just for a moment, thinking I'm not where I am. And I didn't want to feel this way, tired of being out of place. Give me a one-way ticket out of here someplace. I know I can't be happy, it's not in my head. I can sit and cry about reasons why I'm in this mess, but what good is that? What a waste of breath. It's a fine line, thinking about the words unsaid and setting me free from my chest. I feel so low, I'm not myself. I feel so low, I'm not myself. Was it something in the wind? Was it meant to be pulled apart from everything I knew, like golden leaves when it's their time to fall? But I didn't want to feel this way, tired of being out of place. Give me a one-way ticket out of here someplace. I know I can't be happy, it's not.
Alright, so what I've done is I've had to make up these little like packers. So these are made out of polyethylene plastic. I've countersunk that side and it's got a drilled hole on this side. And what I've had is, when I welded these, I designed them so that we had a nice lumpy weld on the inside. That's where all my strength is coming from on these studs. But that weld is around 3 and sometimes a little bit more, maybe up to 5 or 6 mil thick. But this temporary plastic, because it's cheaper, is only 3 mil thick, so it's not actually protruding far enough for me to screw it down, which isn't a big deal so far because once again they're just temporary. So what I've done is I put these bigger stainless steel threads on, nuts on, so that it can get over the top of the weld and screw it down properly. So I've made up these spaces, which I'm going to be putting up. I've countersunk here that one side, and that's going to go over the top, like so. And then now I can get over the top of the weld and screw it down. Probably not going to be such an issue when I've got my 9mm or 12mm thick acrylic that I'm going to put on there. But for the 3mm, it is actually a little bit of a problem. So I've had to make these spaces up. So I've got another, 150 of those spaces to make up. So I'm going to go do that. But this one is glued in. I've just got a couple of more bolts to put in. We'll get that done now. And then, I'll make the rest of the spaces up and continue on with the windows.
I could sit and cry about reasons why I'm in this mess, but what good is that? What a waste of breath. It's a fine line, thinking about the words unsaid and setting me free from my chest. I feel so low, I'm not myself. I feel so low.
Alright, so as you can see behind me, all the windows are now glued in. So you can see some of these have packers on them because the weld's stuck up just a bit too far. Won't have them on there when we glue the thicker stuff on. It's just while we've got these thinner ones on. So that's the other side of the aft cabin, and the aft head is all glued in. Walk this side and we've got a walk-in wardrobe thing. Like I said, we've got to get the materials for these windows, so the wife sort of wants me just to go ahead and get the thicker stuff, just finish these windows off, and we'll just try not to scratch them while we're building the outside. I'm still unsure about that. Maybe what we could do is get a protective film over them, so then when we are finished building we can peel that clear layer off or something. So maybe we'll think about just doing that. It'd be, you know, we'll save one job later on. So we've got 2 windows in the kids' room, and of course the full bed all glued in. So that's a fair bit of work all done there. So that brings us to the end of today's episode. That's good having not to worry about, you know, draping all those tarps over the side of the boat to stop all the water, and cleaning up after the birds every couple of weeks, because they make a huge mess and starts to stink in here. No one wants that. So stay tuned next fortnight. I'm going to look at putting the hatches on so we can stop the water getting in from there. I can get rid of all these tarps that are looking horrible. So that's going to be a bit of job. I've got a bit of painting to do, a bit of mechanical prep around the coamings. Make sure I get all paint in all those holes, because I've only sort of painted this side. I've got to paint the top side now. So yeah, there's a bit of work to do. So I'm going to get onto that, and yeah, let us know what you guys think, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks everyone.